Araya.
And I'm Brandon.
And you're watching
More Love with R&B.
And today we are discussing Marital Kombat.
Something like that.
Yeah. So, conflict happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen. It's good. You married somebody that's different from you, and so there's going to be some things that's exciting, and then there's going to be some clashes. Yeah. And so, and that's cool and that's fine, but we want to talk to you guys about how to fight fair. So I'm going to let Brandon take it away.
I think the first thing that we want to do when we are having marital combat, which is, again, is not a bad thing.
Right.
I think the first thing before we get into our points we want to say is you always have to look at conflict as an opportunity to grow your relationship.
Yeah.
Don't look at it always as, oh, it's another negative thing. I'm so sick of fighting with you. It's pissing me off.
Why did that sound like that?
I don't know. It's like, you're just making me so mad, man. You know, like, and you look at it as a downer, like the day is going to be terrible now. And, you know, that whole thing. But don't look at it always as a downer. Like, it can actually be an opportunity to grow your relationship.
Yep.
It doesn't always feel that way, but if you go into it with that mindset, as you argue, fight, combat, whatever, you can actually have a more positive outlook on the resolution that you come up with. So the first thing that you want to do is agree that the topic is worthy of a fight.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, how many like silly fight, like, I think the worst fight that most couples have is details about a story. It's like, yeah, so, you know, we were in, was it Mr. G's, right, babe?
No, it wasn't Mr. G's.
No, it was Mr. G's because I had
Mr.
ice
G's.
cream. It
No.
was Mr. G.
I think it was
How
Friendly's.
you gonna tell me that
No, it was Friendly's.
We was at Mr. G's?
No, it wasn't Mr. G's.
So do you see my point? Like, you don't even know the rest of the story because we're fighting about whether or not it was Mr. G's or Friendly's. Like, we need to agree that the topic is worthy of a fight. Now, if you're fighting over in-laws, or you're fighting over whether you're going to have kids or not, if you're going to fight over where you're going to live, one of you wants to move to one side of town, the other person wants to move to the other side of town. Like, those are things worthy of fighting or of combating, to actually wrestle it out to come up with a solution that fits your family.
Yeah.
But not that menial stuff about details about a story or little inconsequential things that don't matter.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And so once you guys decided, hey, this is actually worthy of a fight, you both should agree to fight fair. We don't want to be bringing up past things that have already been resolved, because that's not fighting fair.
Why did you cut your eyes at me, yo?
I didn't. That's below the belt, and we want to make sure that we're fighting fair so that we can get our point across, and that you can actually hear the other person and receive the information without getting defensive. So make sure that you guys agree to fight fair before you start fighting.
Agreed. That brings me to my next point. You want to keep reconciliation at the forefront. At the forefront of your mind.
Yeah.
Like, it always kind of has to be the end goal. And I think a lot of times we get so angry and frustrated with the person that we love, with the person that we've decided to spend the rest of our life with.
Yeah.
And we forget all those nice ushy gushy mushy things. And then when we start to have these arguments, we're like so far gone in our anger and frustration that we forget that, hey, like, we should be looking to reconcile this thing. Yeah. So keep reconciliation at the forefront of your mind. Don't push it to the back so that anger and frustration and pain and hurt and disrespect and all those other things can reign at the front of your mind. Push those things to the back and let reconciliation be your main goal.
Absolutely. And I think that brings me to my next point.
Okay. Sorry.
Make solid blows, if you will, or make your topics as clear as possible. Make your points as clear as possible. Not a lot of the ramblings, not a lot of the long-winded situations, but try to be solid. The whole reason you're arguing is to try to come to an agreement. And so if you have a point that is contrary to your spouses or whatever, then try to get your point across as clear as possible without all the ramblings, without all the run-on sentences, but make your point clear and concise and try to keep it as short as possible so that your spouse or your significant other can understand what you're saying and then make their response, I guess, if you will.
Yeah. I think another thing too would be have like a fun incentive for resolving the fight. I mean, you never know where that could go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, hey, like, yo, all right, we cool? We good now? We good? We good? Or whatever. Like maybe, let's just be real. Like, maybe the resolve can end up in the bedroom. Maybe the resolve can end up at a date night or go out to eat and just be like, you know what? I'm glad we resolved that, and just look for the end of the fight to kind of be something positive and have it to kind of smooth things over so that you're not just like, fine, well, I guess we just disagree. All right, fine. Fine. And you go to opposite sides of your apartment or your house and it's like, okay, well, where's the resolution at? Right. So try to have a fun incentive or a calm, smooth, chill incentive to in mind when you resolve the fight.
Yeah, so I agree. Another thing is you might not be able to resolve your fight in an hour. Maybe you guys are on your way somewhere or it's getting late at night and you can't come to a resolution. You have to agree to be able to go to neutral corners and take a break.
Yes, red corner, blue corner.
So sometimes you have to ring that bell and just take a break from arguing and be okay.
Yeah.
Be okay, because if you're keeping resolution at the forefront of your mind, but you guys can't reconcile right now because you're still not agreeing, you haven't come to that point yet, say, you know what, this is good, but we need to take a break.
Right.
It's getting late or we have somewhere that we have to go. Let's just agree to disagree right now, shake hands, and then move on, and then come to an understanding of when you'll be able to pick it back up.
Right. Agreed. So I think the last thing we would say is, remember, this is your sparring partner. You're not fighting against each other.
Right.
So don't hit with the intent to destroy the other person. Yeah. A lot of times we get into these shouting matches, arguing, yelling, combating, and it's either if it's not a boxing ring or a Mortal Kombat stage, it's a courtroom where it's like, I gotta win this case and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to Olivia Pope or Annalise Keating this whole situation all over you, and I'm gonna get away with all it. It doesn't have to be this thing where I win and you lose.
Right.
Like, don't finish him or her. Like, actually look to better each other and strengthen your marriage. So remember that you guys are on the same team, even though you're sparring in this situation. Look at this as an opportunity for your relationship to grow, and don't combat each other with the intent to destroy and put each other down. Absolutely. Look at this as a means to grow your relationship.
I agree, absolutely. So we hope that this helps you with your next fight, argument, disagreement.
Sorry.
We hope this helps you. Leave a comment and let us know which point you liked and which point you think will help you. Also, if you have any other fighting ideas that could strengthen your marriage, also leave that in the comment section below.
And please, if this is your first time here, why don't you click on that subscribe button and ring that bell so that you can be notified next time we put up a video.
Absolutely. We hope that you liked it. If you did, give us a thumbs up.
Yes.
And we hope to see you soon.
See you guys.
Bye.